Hey friends, it is Wednesday and you are with me, Cortney Kane Sides, your psychic medium. Yes, the Forbidden Knowledge's own psychic medium. Guys, thank you for being here with me. We have been meeting now over 3 years every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Central. I'm so excited to be with you guys tonight. And listen, I got a little fired up about tonight's topic, my friends. I've been seeing so many clients lately that are coming in with a variety of questions, and it's always, is now the time, is this the person, all of this different stuff, and we're going to jump into that in just a little bit, okay? But I'm telling you, I'm fired up, so I hope that you guys are going to be with me, stick into this tonight. If you are a subscriber here, thank you so much. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do me a favor and hit subscribe to this channel and give me an emoji, give me where you're calling or where you're listening and watching from in the comments. So thank you guys for being live here. And also heart the video. All of us here on this podcast show up every week for you, to connect with you, just sharing our heart and our light. And I just want to appreciate you guys for showing up every week. Something that's really cool that I've been noticing on the podcast is the camaraderie and the love in this comment section. You guys, I'm telling you, are my favorite. So I so appreciate you. Another thing too, when we're done with this podcast, make sure you go over to Cosmically Connected with Cortney Kane Sides here on YouTube and like my personal channel too. That would mean the world to me. And of course, hit me up on Instagram and all the things. I love it. So guys, I'm seeing lots of people asking about Billy. Yes, this is Billy's Forbidden Knowledge podcast channel. And Billy is with us, often, but on Wednesday, 7 p.m., you get me. And we connect on so many different topics. Guys, do me a favor, take a good deep breath in. We're going to call on those guides and angels and ground our energy. Okay. In just a second. Listen, I see South Carolina, North Carolina. Where else? Guys, where are you watching from? Austin, Texas, Huntsville, Alabama, Michigan. I see them coming in. Thanks, guys, for being here. I love it. All right, guys, take a good deep breath in with me. Big exhale out. All right, let's call on those guides and angels. So guides and angels on our right, guides and angels on our left, guides and angels in front, guides and angels in back to balance and harmonize our time here, leaving us in the light and allowing nothing but the highest, truest, or the best to manifest upon us now. Look at them rolling in. We've got Detroit, New Jersey. We've got Chicago, Ohio, Bakersfield, California, Maryland, Yorkshire, South Carolina, Pennsylvania, Utah, Texas, New York, Brooklyn, Los Angeles, California. Guys, thanks for being here. South Africa, Cybertron, Hartford, Connecticut. I love it. All right, guys. So listen, there was a TikTok. How many of you guys are on TikTok? Give me a heart in the comment section if you're on TikTok. If you're over there, go find me. Cortney Kane Sides. Now, there was a TikTok. It was on the Odin Media platform. And it hit me a couple of days ago. I saw this, came across it. I sent it to the few people, my assistant, my fiance. And this person, his name's James Sexton, lawyer, is his information on TikTok. I've only seen a couple of his things, but the one that hit me, it said that when we're 18 years old, we've graduated from high school, that every person must work for a year in like hospice care, so that we get to see death, my friends, every day. Okay. I'm watching this. It's hitting me. You know, when you see something that you're having your own discernment, you're feeling this, when you see these different reels or TikToks or whatever it is, YouTube shorts, and you're seeing this information and it resonates with you, you're going to feel it in all different parts of your body. But why he was saying this was because when you have the perspective of loss and grief, it makes you show up in your day, in your life differently. Let me say it again. It makes you show up in your day and in your life differently. Now, I saw that. It was resonating with me, and it hit me to the core of my heart and my being. Now, I did not have a year in hospice. However, at the age of 12, 13, 14, I had the experience of taking care of my dying mother, much like many of you have been caregivers in your life, maybe young like I was. And doing that showed me how incredibly important it was to be so kind. It makes me emotional thinking about it. I want you all to hear this. Take a breath with me, my friends. It is so important for us to now take the time to be loving and to show up with everything we've got in the moment that's presented before us. We are not promised tomorrow. I'm jumping in here, guys. We are 7 minutes in, and I feel like I'm already there with you, okay? Somebody says, apparently, I've been a caregiver for over 1 million years, continuously coming back and 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 back. Ooh, but this is the last time, my friend, I understand, right? Somebody says, I worked for Alzheimer's assisted living when I was 16. You know, in my work, I see people all day long. I have beautiful private sessions in person and people from all over the world. And because I know, because of my experiences of growing up with those different roles and different losses and experiences in my own life, I know that the way that I show up in my life today is greatly because of many of those traumas that happened that was so painful for sure, that I was able to heal from and grow from. And then in my life today, and by the way, none of us are perfect, but we show up and we show up with heart, time, truth, and heart. It is literally, my friends, all we have. Stephen says time never runs out. It doesn't. What I'm referencing is these moments with each other. We are eternal, yes, we are. But when you're waking up and you're being ugly to the person living under your roof, or you're walking into work and you've got this scowl on your face, if you're noticing that life feels like, what in the world are you doing to change it? Now is the time for you to take a really good look at the way that you're showing up in your life experiences and in relation to the people within your vicinity. If you're keeping people as trophies, even when you know that when you're with them, they're no longer serving you, what are you doing? Take a breath in, big exhale out, and make the choice for something better for you. Right now is the time for you to be making the most beautiful moves and heartfelt swoops and intentions in your life with every moment that's presented before you. It is right now when that topic, time is running out. What I'm saying to you is don't let that time run out, my friends. Now is the time to heal the relationships to the point that they can be healed. And if setting those boundaries is what's important, then do that. And you can do it with peace in your heart and space within those relationships. I say that I'm almost shaking, feeling that with you guys. How are you speaking to your children, my friends? Take a breath in, big exhale out. Are you speaking more kindly to the people, to strangers, which, by the way, we should do that. Show love and care to every soul. Some people are hard to show care and love to. It is. It's not always easy. But how can you show up and see everybody emanating their own light and having understanding about the experiences that they've also had, giving people grace? Somebody says, sit on the couch and all I can hear is buzzing. Let me know. Is anybody else hearing buzzing? I'm not sure what you're referring to, my friend. Let me know. Mm, mm. It's really interesting. It's really interesting. Let's see here. Eminem says, I was told a good practice was to look at yourself outside of yourself, continuously taking accountability. Mm. That third party perspective is going to do you a lot of wonders, my friend. That third party perspective, I believe, is our purpose here in this life experience, is to watching the cycled experiences that are happening in our life. And having being the witness to this own human experience and understanding that we are the only ones that can change it, by the way. Many of these experiences that we've had are here to show us what to do and maybe even what not to do on some occasions. But how are you taking, yes, that accountability to show up? So my question to you is, as you're, you might be sitting on, at the desk, or you might be driving the car, having the dreams, having the wonder, wishing that you had said the thing that you wanted to say to that friendship, to a parent that you no longer have contact with, to a child that you wish that maybe you could have fixed the verbiage, or maybe you needed to apologize for something. My friend, now is the time to do that. I see clients on an ongoing basis that are living a life full of such regret and pain and hurt because they did not follow through in the moment. They did not listen to their gut, to their own intuition, and they let the moments pass. My friend, do not let these moments right now that you're interacting with, these people, whether it's the person, don't let the door hit them as you're walking through in a rush. Stop, my friend. Take a breath in, catch yourself, and be a beautiful human being and hold the door for the person that's frowning even at you. Showing kindness and softness to the person next to you, the neighbor, the stranger, the teacher, the child walking past you. You emanating this light, my friend, that is what the world needs right now. And we are the ones to shift it and to shake it up so that it goes into a different direction. Gladys says, I always greet people with a smile, like I am so happy to see them. Ray says, the grief we experience after a loss is from worlds unsaid and things undone. Ooh, words unsaid and things undone. My friend, that is so true. Lightworker says, I used to not do that. I used to be too afraid and afraid to step into this, but I know this sounds crazy and what not and whatever, but I don't care anymore. I'm feeling this and the entire YouTubers. Thank you, my friend. Pray 7. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate that. Your donation is always so beautifully helpful. It allows us to be able to show up over and over. And so thank you, my friend. Lightworker says, literally speaking to me on my signs and this and that, word for word. Iaya, I'm messing up your name and I apologize. Asher says, honor your internal Christ and the internal Christ of others. First commandments. I love that. I'm going to highlight that comment. I want to say to you real quick that, and I wasn't even thinking I was going to share this, but I have a close person close to me who's having a situation where they had to make boundaries with a particular friend. They've said everything they possibly could. They tried to heal the situations. They've tried to have this other person see their side of things. There have been arguments, there have been fights, there have been all of that, whatever. And this person has finally found peace within the separation of the friendship. What I'm proud of in this friend, even though that's sad. There's mourning involved, there's grief involved, which is rightful. But what I'm really proud of is they're walking away knowing that they still are not matching the degree of hostility. Listen to that. We don't have to match the degree of irritation or hostility or anger with others who simply also are really adamant about misunderstanding somebody. Okay. What I pray that we all do at certain moments in our life is when we're being hit with something that doesn't look like the light, with when we're being hit with the dark, when we're being hit with pain, with harshness, with words that aren't beautiful, with which is hello, real life's not always beautiful, but when we speak from that space of truth, heart, and light, my friend, we're doing exactly we're hello connecting to that internal Christ, right? We're becoming that light, emanating that light, and just allowing it to be. When we have peace within our relationships, my friend, that is the most beautiful thing. So, in reference to our topic tonight, time is running out. Who do you need to, or what is the thing within your soul that you need to gain peace with? I want you to think about that tonight, this week. What is the thing that's been stirring in your heart and your soul that still gets, still feels painful? Have you healed from the wounds of the loss and the grief? Have you needed to speak up and search out ways to dig into that further so that you can fully let go of anger and pain and show up in this world within that light and in that space? Danette says the only way we can control the only thing we can control is how we react. I agree, my friend. Thank you, Pray 7. Pray 7 says she loves, or they love, the artwork. Thank you. I am inspired to do more art, guys. More art is on its way. I paint large pieces and was just in Paris with a client a few weeks ago, which was a beautiful trip. And I was so inspired by Marc Chagall's paintings and his colors. They're very similar to the brightness that I love to paint. And so be prepared for more videos on paintings and things coming, my friend. So even in reference to that, listen, I've been talking about wanting to paint bigger paintings. I've got tons of them. I sell them. I am commissioned for art here and there. But I keep saying I have intention of doing more with that thing. And I keep halting it. Listen, my friends, we all do it in our own ways. In the way that we're speaking even tonight, stop putting the brakes on the thing that's going to serve your heart and your soul. So even tonight, I'm referencing, yes, the way that you're showing up in your words with other people. Yes, I'm talking about the way that you're showing up with your heart and light, but also those ideas that are coming to you, or those moments of inspiration where you feel like I know I should be doing this thing. And I want to put this out into the ethers, into the world. Why are you putting the brakes on it? And as I say that to you, my friend, I'm saying it to myself too. Taking accountability, breathing it in, owning it, and exhaling that energy out. So what are we going to do about it? How are we going to reset this stage and start to show up? Right. Well, Ashley says, I love God so much. I married him against the men that approach. He's never let me down. But what I was blind ended tonight for so long, my two paths. Sending you love, my friend, for sure. Somebody says they have canvases waiting. That's right. Wow. Just because says I put brakes on my whole life, playing small. No longer, my friend. No longer. Let's stop that. Christy says, set a time, a place where we can let it go for good. If we wake up every day and act as though this is the only 24 hours we have, what are you going to do with it? Are you going to be snippy with your husband, your wife, your child, that little one who's looking up to you for guidance? The spiritual bubble says, follow your heart. What are you going to do to shake up your energy and give it your all? I had a client last week who was a beautiful client. Let me tell you this real quick. I was on my way home from Phoenix, driving back on Friday from seeing my oldest daughter. And driving back, every exit kept saying 333 over and over and over. And it was odd. And it was like, well, that's weird. Every exit's not exit 333. So that was odd, but I kept noticing it. And so much that I said it out loud to my little girl. And I was like, are you seeing that? That exit has been saying 333 for many, many exits now. So that's really odd. And every time we would see the exit 333, one of my best friends that had passed a couple of years ago, that was her number. And so we both witnessed it that. And she says, oh, hi, Stephanie, takes a breath in. We say, thank you, we love you, we know you're with us. And so we practice that, breathe it in, exhale the energy out. And when I got home, I was rushing home to make it on time, which hit me was 3:30 for my client that afternoon. Came in, took a quick nap, got ready, sat down to do her session. She got here. And I asked her, like I ask every client, every new client, thank you so much. Now, how was it that you were referred to me? And this particular client said, I was referred to you by Stephanie, and she said her last name. That was my friend that passed. My friend has been gone this year. It's been 2.5 years that she's been gone. And I haven't had anybody come to me since her passing and say, hey, so-and-so referred me to you. And she said it, and I took a breath in. And in my mind, thank you, Stephanie. I love you. I love you. I love you. I know you're with me. And I knew that that 333 was her saying, hey, I'm with you, my friend. I'm with you, my friend. We're on this girls' trip together. But this is the thing that I'm witnessing in my work is I want you to start to show gratitude for the signs that pop up in your life. But I also want you to understand that to wait to be thankful once they've passed, or to wait to find peace with their soul or within your soul, or that relationship that you had with that loved one on the other side until they've passed, we can do that. That there can still be a peace that's made. But my friend, why wouldn't we do that when we're both here in this experience together, alive and together, right? So I'm asking you today, this is the thing, time is running out. We're not in fear of it. We're eternal. Take a breath in. We are the light. But the reason I say that is because we don't know when the last words are going to be expressed from one soul to another. And what are the messages and the words that you're laying upon another, right? Is it light or is it dark? And I just want to leave that with you. I want to leave it with you and allow you. There's no judgment in it, by the way. But how can we do better? And how can we help heal those things here, eye to eye, heart to heart? We've got the time in this second, in this moment to do it. It's really important that we show up in that way. I love that so many of you also resonate with 333. And I saw somebody earlier say, Nurture by Nature, I love that name, by the way, said my dad's hospice room was 333. There you go. Feel him and know that he is with you. When we receive signs and symbols, however they come, through the conversations, through the experiences, that's a nod from the other side that they are with us. Feel them and know like you know that they are with you. And Marianne says, just like we see everything in our minds, they live with us through our minds. They really do. But we get to also dictate how it is we leave the impression with another soul. So the time is running out for us to heal, yes, those experiences, because we don't know when our time is, right? We don't know when there's that. I see people all the time. I had a mother who had passed, and she had a very, very explosive argument with her daughter, and her daughter passed later that evening in a car wreck. And of course, you can understand the grief and the experience that that mother goes through today. There have been lots of time and healing and love put into that relationship since then. Mm. But how can we make sure that we leave people with love, or do our best to at least make sure that they know that we're operating from the heart? We cannot control how the other energy receives it, my friend, but how are you putting it and expressing it? I want you to be really aware of your own energy, because that's the only thing we can do. And if you are at peace and knowing that you are being so beautifully clear with your heart, with your light, with your energy, and with, yes, that time, then you've got it. And yes, having that beautiful third party perspective. Dubstep says, he's responding to some Gershon, says, look for mathematically extremely unlikely coincidence as well. That's when you will really understand if you're being tapped on the shoulder. I love that. Yeah, we're in this perfect mathematical equation of frequency and energy. You'll see it. Once you start to awaken, my friends, that's also when we will see all of those numbers starting to pop up. Many people will sometimes suffer because they'll be like, well, what is this one trying to show me versus what is that one trying to show me? And sometimes the point is just to see that we're connected. Take that breath in, understand, connect, and know, like you know that you've got everything it takes here to find that beautiful connection with this moment and your loved ones. Amber Gedden says, my parents have both passed. My mom and I had a tumultuous relationship before she passed. We were in a good place, but I wish I could see her one more time and tell her I forgive her and I love her. My friend. So when we have experiences like that, when there is, when they've passed, our loved ones, or there's been a break in the relationship, you, in the space of meditation or prayer, connecting, knowing that that loved one is there, they can hear us. It is very much a telepathic connection. And you can do that on the own without the help of anybody, by the way. I'm telling you. And so speak to her from that space and heart, and she will know. And I'm telling you that you will get signs and symbols of that peace that's being built within that relationship. You will find it. It's very healthy to be a skeptic until you see those aha moments falling into place. But I'm telling you, you will find it. That's right. So how are you going to start making sure that you're infusing and taking really good care of you? Very often it's from releasing energy that is, yes, no longer serving us, right? So it's making, maybe it is a cut of relationship, which is sad. That's a grief thing. That's not an easy thing. But what's hurting you in this experience, in this life? Why are you not able to show up in your fullest, right? You start to inspect your own energy. Where are these dips in frustration happening? Where is this coming from? If you start to examine your own experiences, you're going to realize that you're also the only one that can find the solution. That's it. But you're not alone. You've got the support of the higher frequency and energy all around you. It is choice, my friend. Dr. Strange says nothing dies. There is only change. That's right. Eminem says it's all about perception and understanding. Life is what you make it pleasant and fruitful. The thing is this too, is what you're expecting is exactly what you're going to find. Typically, we can all be surprised, of course, but very often what you're looking for is what you're going to find. So I invite you to think about exactly, I want you guys to look it up. James Sexton Lawyer is his TikTok name. And it was on the Odin Media, Odin Media TikTok page that I saw this clip. And he's referencing hospice. He's referencing again, my friends. This is the thing that lit me up on fire with this topic. The oh, I just had a little felt like a little mini earthquake for a moment. Interesting. The TikTok, it was about kids who graduate high school, how it should be almost mandatory for them to, when they graduate high school, to spend a year working for hospice care. What it will do for your heart and to your soul is it will tell you and show you what's really important. Those relationships, those words, those experiences, and the way that you show up for the other souls around you. And I said this to a dear close friend around this last week, is if we can look at each person, by the way, this isn't easy when I'm going to say this. If we can look at each person that we're having a struggle with as if they were Jesus, or they were Christ, or they were the light, or they were even our younger selves, how would we handle them? How would we show up for them? How would we speak to them? And how would we love them? Sometimes boundaries still need to be made. Sometimes when it's children, maybe we still need to reprimand. But do we reprimand in care and kindness? Do we reprimand in, there's a lot of different ways that we can do those things. But how are we doing it so that we leave love after the fact, right? Dr. Strange says the spirit came before the body and it will remain after. That's right. TNT says, I said everything I've ever wanted to say to my daddy, and I imagine him quietly listening. He never speaks, but his eyes always show what I need to see. It's healing to me. My friend, that is you connecting to your father and communicating with him. That is possible, and I'm very proud of you. Asher says, the reason for life is because the being wants consciousness of itself from the smallest mineral in nature beyond to absolute abstract space beyond eternity and the infinite. Mike Nice says, with patience. So how are you going to show up? What are you going to do differently? If we start living life 24 hours, that's all we've got. What are you going to do? How are you going to speak to the person next to you? How are you going to show grace to the person who maybe just isn't getting it? Maybe we don't interact any longer. We can love them from afar without mirroring or holding the same type of hostility that they are. We don't have to match them, my friend, in energy. We can remain and stay in the brightest form of frequency and light and love, and that's it. We also don't have to let it stop us, right? We can continue to grow and move forward. And care. Dr. Strange says, we cannot force anyone to do anything. Guys, I want to thank you for being here tonight. We are going to, wait just a second. Lightworker says, once you form your bubble, there's nothing that can get in your bubble. There's nothing that can get out of your bubble if you continue to be that bouncy light. Gee whiz says unconditional. Marianne says the oldest lesson, treat others the way you want to be treated. That's right. We have to accept people for who they are at that time, and acceptance is key. That's right. So how are we going to show up? And how are we going to mirror our own light and energy out into the world, right? Kevin said, that's a good question. Kevin says, what about seeing the number 666? Listen, I was raised Southern Baptist. Many of us know what we were taught of that number, right? It's not my favorite number to see, sure, but When I see it, I just know that I'm connected to the grid of the universe. I don't dial into each separate number. Now, many people will. You will speak with different healers or teachers. Lightworker says that means abundance, massive abundance. Good. See, I've been seeing it lately too. And so I want you to understand, to me, when I see the numbers, I don't have to splice them up and say, what does this one mean? What does that one mean? I want you to do what you want to do with it. But for me, I take a breath in, I show gratitude, and I just allow and receive the message and know that it's showing me that I'm fully connected to it all. Okay. Fully connected to it all. Mm, yeah. Many of you guys see 333. Um, Arbergeddon says, what does it mean when you see 1010? My friends, listen, I think you're going to hear this from me, and many of you, it might frustrate some of you. The way it feels to me is we make it so small when we try to dissect the little you are connected to something so massive that these little tiny details almost keep us too busy and focused on the smallest of little pinpoints. If you breathe in, it's showing you that you're connected to the massive universe within, to the light. That's how it feels to me. And so when you know we're bigger than the tiny even detail of it, we don't have to focus on just that little detail. It feels as though sometimes it keeps it too small. Okay. It's almost as if I want to describe it in this way. I teach development classes. I have people who have been taking private development classes with me for over 20 years now. I do private sessions with them, all of this. And for many years, many people they wanted a detailed how to 1 to 10 step on how you connect with your one guide. They wanted a specific name. They wanted this. They wanted what. When we do that, how it feels to me is we are making it so tiny. If you're asking one guide for information, why are we not connecting to your fullest potential of connectivity, which is the fullest of light, God, source, universe? Call it Christ consciousness, call it whatever you want to call it. There, so many people have different labels for it. But when we're trying to put human um, construction around this information, it dilutes it. It dilutes the connectivity that you're trying to reach, you know? And so when I see the numbers, I today just show gratitude for it and become one with the highest source of connection. When you do that, my gosh, it's so much easier, my friend. It's also so much more abundant. That's how it feels to me. Take it or leave it. That does not have to be your truth, but that is how it feels to me. Mm. 86 says, I feel like knowing more about my past lives would explain so much now. So, hi, my friend. I actually had a client today. They were out of the Pacific. I'm like sitting here thinking time zones or whatever. Anyway, beautiful client, beautiful session. We connected to loved ones on the other side, but also to one or two particular lifetimes that were, yes, in fact, uh, she was connecting to, or maybe those things in that past life were really showing up as sometimes blocks in this life, or she was learning from those experiences. So I do believe that finding out that information can help. I think it can be very interesting, and sometimes it lessens our hostility around certain situations that happen in our daily life, because we understand our connection or emotional attachment to these things is not just compounded here in this lifetime. Sometimes it is something from so long ago, and that's why it feels so intense. So, my friend, it being, finding out more about all of this is really beautiful, but not holding on to it, because again, there's so much more. Wow. Wow. Mm, I love all the comments, guys. Lightworker says, when you realize that you are forever consciousness dreaming this perception that you are a human and you will wake up one day, it becomes easier. I agree. I agree. Mm. Everybody's thanking Dr. Strange. I love you, my friend, Dr. Strange. I got to see what he was saying. Dr. Strange says the hints are not to be focused too much on. They are meant to give you just a little confirmation for what you already know. The verbiage that was coming through my client session today was sage wisdom. And then also, um, uh, it was as if the wisdom was going to be unearthed. That's how it felt. Those were the words that were coming through directly from her guides to her. And I believe that listen, even when we're even connecting on a podcast here tonight, again, I was referencing that TikTok um, earlier when I heard it, when I saw it, I was like, oh, that is speaking so much truth, right? To me, what happens is when we get hit and something resonates, it's because that truth is already matching something within your system. I'm a firm believer that when we're learning something, sometimes it's more so uncovering it from that wisdom within, right? And so there is an unearthing this sage wisdom, this energy, this knowledge from something that has already and always been connected and within us. Marion says we all carry the blood of our ancestors and all the information with it. That is so true. Which, by the way, my friends, is why it's so important to heal. Am I right? Why it's so important to show up in a different way than maybe our ancestors, our loved ones, our parents, whomever showed up for us. Maybe that's why we want to make sure. That's why you'll see families. You'll see sometimes the women in certain families were never close, or they were repeating cycles on, men or women or whatever in families. You'll see those repeated cycles happen over and over and over. And it's because of epigenetics that they're not even fully aware of. And so when we start to heal from these experiences and these things, even without having to know the ancestor information or history, right? But when we start to heal from these cycles that rotate in our life, right? And we have that third party perspective, man, we're expanding into that higher consciousness, and we are raising the vibration of our family tree, that ancestral tree. Who read A New Earth by Eckhart Tolle? I read it, 20 million years ago, but so long ago. And I remember reading that, and I had to read it twice. Because if you have ever read anything of Eckhart's, he's very and I think I did an audiobook too. It's very, the way he speaks is very almost meditative, right? And for me to fully soak up what he was saying, I had to kind of read over it a few times. And so that information in that book, A New Earth, or I believe it was A Power of Now, actually was the first book. He speaks of really observing it all. And when we're able to observe these moments and even our own participation in the moment, what happens, we can also see the way our own participation in that moment affects that person now and that person later. It's a very beautiful way of living life. And my friends, the world has called us all to awaken, which is why many of you are here. Many of you are here every week. I love you guys. Thank you so much. But we're here because we are those that are meant to awaken for, yes, those family trees, that ancestral tree, but for the planet, for the mission of the light. That's why we're here. Rhea says generational trauma can be healed. We can all heal with awareness, higher perspective, and forgiveness. Amen, my friend. I agree. That's true. Lightworker said, for all the anime fans out there, once you realize that we are Goku, which I don't know what that is, but I get it, and the rest of the crew to protect and heal this earth. That's exactly, I agree. We're here to work all together. We're here to understand that even when somebody doesn't understand in our same way, there's something within them that reflects either our old selves, our future selves, whatever. We are still one. And so when we're also hurting other people or trying to condemn others because we don't understand or be harmful or hurtful, I'd ask you to look at that person as if they were source, as if that was a mirror image of you. I'd ask you to try to ask how you would want somebody to treat you. Take a breath in, send love, send connection, and show up with heart, time, truth, and heart. That's it. That's all we have. And when we show up within that light and we're walking in the space of love and connection within that light, we're doing what we're supposed to. What happens then? We are also not afraid of what's on the other side. So when our human time runs out, we can leave in such beautiful peace because we know the way we've left the people we love around us. We know that every moment we let them know how much we loved them. In every moment we wanted to understand the misunderstandings and leave it with a resolution. And when those resolutions maybe couldn't be met, at least maybe they're left with your heart and their intention, your intention. And that's it. Bring your best, my friend. Thank you for that donation. Said some people are too far gone to fix. Let me say this. I agree, but we also are not here to fix anybody. We're not here to fix anybody. Mr. Brinkley, I love you. Thank you, my dear. And you mine. We're all walking each other home. I know many of you have probably heard that reference. And that's what we're doing. Every soul on this earth. I have a neighbor, guys. I think you've heard me talk about my neighbor. I have a neighbor, an elderly neighbor. I've never in my life had a neighbor that didn't like me. And she doesn't care for me. And she struggled with, our daughter playing basketball at 3 p.m. But I'm not going to not let my little girl play basketball at 3 p.m. And so she struggles with it. And her husband's precious, and I can't control any of that. It's very odd. It feels very weird. But I would treat her and set boundaries and love and light. And I don't have to be angry or not like her necessarily, right? I can understand where she's coming from. And that's it. So how are we showing even the people that we struggle with? How do we show up for them? Lightworker said, that's why Yeshua the Christ said, love yourself and thy neighbor. That's right. Thank you for that. I'm going to highlight that. That's right. That's right. We do not get to control or fix anybody else. And this is a thing too. Other people can misunderstand us. And that I know has sent many of my clients and my friends and some people that I love very close to me. Some people are just absolutely adamant about misunderstanding others. It is not in our control. And it's not our mission to make sure that people know our heart or our truth, right? We can speak from that place of heart and understanding, and that's it, right? What they do with it is up to them. And it's okay that they feel it in their own way. And they're going to learn their own lessons however they're supposed to. And there's no judgment. By the way, there's also, I want to share this real quick. I don't believe that there's any hierarchy in this thing called healing either. So you'll see a lot of people they'll say, I've done the work. I've done the work. They need to do the work. They need to do the work. And maybe they're doing the work that they're meant to do in this lifetime. Maybe this lifetime isn't meant for them to go further on that part of that path. So also not being frustrated because people aren't matching you. That's the thing too. Some just aren't able to match or meet letting people be where they are is such a massive gift, and you allowing yourself to be at peace with it. Thank you, Ethan. Ethan says, hey, like and share, guys. Help her out. Yeah, my friends, do that. Like, share, subscribe, do all the things. Also, do me a favor tonight when we're done, do me a favor and hop on over to Cosmically Connected with Cortney Kane Sides here on YouTube. That is my own personal page. We are going to be doing more intentions and things like that showing up, and I cannot wait to be providing that for you. And so make sure you're going to hop over to that page and subscribe too. Yes. Let's see. Praise 7 says, I knew I was connected when a 400-pound deer ran along the side of my car 2 weeks ago. And it stayed with me for about 2 minutes. I promise it was looking at me. Wow, just amazing. I mean, that I know that can be a very godly experience, right? You saying that, I mean, I can feel that energy. So yes, that when we have those moments when it takes our breath in those moments, oh my gosh, that feels like a God thing. I had not last summer, but the summer before, I think. And I even shared it with you all. I shared it on social media, but I had a butterfly stay with me for like 2.5, 3 hours. I mean, this butterfly went into my home with me. This butterfly was all over the place with me. And I felt as though I knew exactly who it was. And it was absolutely amazing. And so when we have those moments of connection, my friends, we feel it. We know it. There's no telling you any different. It's because you are connecting with your own discernment and light within you. So let's get back to it real quick, my friends. You've got 24 hours. What are you going to do with it? How are you going to show up? How are you going to stay in your light? Are you going to follow through with those ideas that are popping into your head because you are the only person that can fulfill them into this life in the only way that you can do it? Listen, I see so many people every day that want to start a podcast, that want to be doing this, that want to do this, but they stop themselves because they're either embarrassed with their family or they're like, yeah, but everybody has one on this topic or whatever. Yes, but the world needs to hear it through you. Through your own experiences. Thank you, my friends. Praise 7. Thank you, my friend. Chadrick Ellis, thank you, my friend. Those donations are such a big deal. I so appreciate it. Thank you so much. It does help us show up for the podcast and do more and continue to keep thriving. Again, please do me a favor. Find me over on Instagram at Cortney Kane Sides Medium. Do me another favor and check out that. I will download and share that on all my other social media threads on Facebook as well. The James Sexton lawyer reel where he's referencing the hospice, he said it, he spoke it, and my heart just went out to him. If we show up every day like this was it, if we showed up and knew that every person that crossed our path could walk out that door and we could never see them again, how would you speak to them? How would you show up? Would you give them a hug and squeeze them? Or would you say, nah, whatever, see ya, and let doors slam? Think about it. Think about it. My friends, I love you so much. Do me a favor. It means the world to me, all of your connections. I am working on growing my own personal YouTube channel. So that Cortney Kane Sides Medium, please do me a favor. Go subscribe again for me over there. And I will see you guys in just a few days. I'll pop over there and we'll do a live intention together, okay? All right. Thanks for being here. I'll talk to you soon.